How well do you think you know yourself? What about how well Instagram knows you? Or your daily chatbot? In a world where algorithms increasingly predict our desires before we know them ourselves, the ancient quest to know thyself has never been more challenging or more important. When LLMs first came out, I vowed I wouldn't ask it personal questions. But alas, I caved when I was feeling stuck a few months back about what to do with this channel in light of my personality and current life stage. After providing some basic profiling information about myself, I asked my go-to LLM, I call him Todd, a simple question. Based on my business, content, personal interests and traits, how can I shift this channel to be more aligned to me? What happened next was really unnerving. Todd didn't just offer generic advice, he analysed my speech patterns, the topics that made my voice light up, and even pointed out blind spots in my thinking. He knew, without being told, that I value depth over metrics and connection over perfection. Its analysis of me was so unbelievably accurate, I literally had to step away from my computer and take a walk. So, if you felt that strange mix of wonder and concern when technology seems to know you better than you know yourself, or if you're wondering what it means to be genuinely self-aware in the age of algorithms that predict your every move, stick around. This is a conversation we need to have. Hi everyone, Bianca Raby here, CEO, educator and deep thinker. After that unsettling experience with Todd, I started questioning everything about how we form our identities in this digital age. In the self-development space, there is a lot of talk about self-awareness. Socrates, a very famous philosopher, is famously contributed to the phrase, know thyself. He embraced it as a foundational principle of his teachings, believing that true. Now, Socrates didn't have Instagram analysing his every click or an AI finishing his sentences, yet his wisdom feels more urgent than ever in our algorithm-shaped world. And to be honest, I agree with the ancient Greeks on this one. My life improved dramatically once I peeled back the layers of my social conditioning, family patterns and cultural programming to discover the authentic core of who I am. That journey took years of intentional reflection, therapy and deep inner work, all done in the analogue space of my own mind. But I've been wondering, how do we stay self-aware in a world that is constantly curating our reality for us? When the very tools we use to explore ourselves are simultaneously mapping, predicting and sometimes manipulating our behaviours. And of course, how do we guide our young people to do the same, especially when they've never known a world without a logarithmic influence, shaping their preferences before they've had the chance to discover them organically? Because the truth is, we're no longer just discovering ourselves through reflection or experience, we're being shown versions of ourselves through our algorithms. And often we believe them without question. Have you felt it? You start typing something into Google and it finishes a sentence for you. You open Instagram and already knows what kind of person you're trying to become. Or you say something out loud and somehow TikTok makes a video about it the next day. This happened to me just last week. After mentioning electrolytes in a private WhatsApp message, Instagram immediately served me ads about them despite my VPN. And even more disturbingly, I regularly see deepfake reels using the voices of health experts I trust to promote products they've never endorsed.
Would you fall for this? This is an entirely deepfake ad that I'm about to show you for some BS supplement. These are becoming so common. So I'm going to show you this deepfake ad. I want you to tell me if you would fall for it.
There's a category of supplements that are very interesting, work very well to increase testosterone by about 100 to 200 points.
Well, look, that Alpha Grind product that's all over TikTok, if you go to Amazon and you type in libido booster for men, you're going to find it right at the top.
The line between authentic and manufactured is becoming blurrier every day. We like to think that we are choosing what we buy, what we believe and who we're becoming, but often we're being chosen for. And this is one of the things I worry about the most for our young people. They haven't had a time where the algorithm wasn't confirming their reality or dishing them up a script. Their identities are forming in partnership with AI systems designed to maximize engagement, not well-being. When a 13-year-old shows interest in fitness, their entire digital world can quickly transform into an echo chamber of a single body type or lifestyle before they've even had a chance to explore diverse perspectives and find their own values. The algorithm isn't evil, it's efficient, and it's designed to reduce friction and predict your desires. And let's be honest, most business owners, myself included, have used the Facebook pixel to target the right people with our content. After all, I don't get paid to create these videos. The content business relies on your eyeballs and engagement. I have to find you and then earn your attention in an increasingly crowded digital landscape. But here's the catch. If you're not deeply grounded in who you are, you can start to confuse what you're being shown with what you actually want. The gap between authentic desire and logarithmic suggestions is where our self-awareness gets compromised. Even as someone who studies this stuff, I sometimes find myself in this trap. I've carefully curated my Instagram feed to be positive and aligned with the life I aspire to lead. I've done everything right in according to the digital wellness advice. Yet, even that carefully curated environment can become problematic. Those aspirational images, even positive ones, can trigger comparison, FOMO, and anxiety when I'm not meeting my own expectations. The algorithm knows exactly when I'll pause on an image that makes me feel slightly inadequate, and then it serves me more of it. This isn't just annoying, it's reshaping how we understand ourselves at a fundamental level. Self-awareness as a practice. So what can we do? Well, for a start, acknowledge that self-awareness needs to be a practice, a reflective one that happens over time. There are moments where I've caught myself mid-scroll thinking, oh, maybe I want that. Maybe I should be more like her. Maybe I'm behind. But behind what? Whose path am I measuring myself against? And if I'm not careful, I lose the ability to hear myself over the noise of systems that profit from my confusion. So I've started asking questions like, did I choose this thought or was it served to me? Does this version of success feel like mine or was it programmed in? Am I becoming more me or just more optimized version of what's trending? And honestly, sometimes I don't like the answer, but that's the work. For me, this means regular digital detoxes, not just to unplug, but to reconnect with what I want when no algorithm is suggesting it. It means journaling with a pen and paper, walking without podcasts, and creating space where my thoughts aren't being immediately influenced by external voices. It's also about strengthening my internal filters. So before I adopt a new desire or goal, I sit with it for a few days. If it still resonates after the initial dopamine hit fades, it might actually be mine. Self-awareness in the age of the algorithm isn't just about knowing yourself. It's about protecting that knowing, revisiting it, reclaiming it when it gets hijacked by the feed. This protection requires both vigilance and compassion. Vigilance to notice when we're being manipulated, and compassion for ourselves when we get inevitably pulled in these digital currents. We're human, after all, facing tools engineered by thousands of the world's most brilliant minds, specifically designed to capture and keep our attention. Supporting our young people as educators and mentors, we have a critical role to play in helping them navigate this new landscape. Here are some of the ways that we can guide them. First, normalize the conversation. Simply acknowledging these systems are designed to influence them creates space for authentic reflection. Second, create opportunities for analog self-discovery. Our classrooms can become rare sanctuaries where students connect with themselves through journaling, discussion, and creative projects that build an internal compass independent of digital feedback. And finally, model the digital boundaries we preach when we demonstrate our own practices for maintaining self-awareness. We show that digital mindfulness isn't just possible, it's essential for authentic development in an algorithm-shaped world. And if you're an educator wanting to dive deeper on this topic, let me know in the comments. I'm considering a dedicated video on digital literacy and identity formation. Remember, the goal isn't to shield young people from a logarithmic influence. That's impossible. Instead, we're teaching them to recognize these forces so that they can make conscious choices about who they want to become in relationship with technology, not in submission to it. So, if you've ever felt scattered, foggy, or low-key disconnected from yourself lately, you're not broken. You're simply living in a world designed to pull you away from your center. Get quiet, get honest, and above all, get back to your own voice. That's where the real you lives. This week, I challenge you to try one small act of a logarithmic resistance. Turn off notifications for 24 hours, journal without prompts, take a walk without your phone. See what emerges when you create space for your uninfluenced thoughts. And if this resonated, let me know in the comments. What's helping you stay grounded in yourself right now? And if you want more of these deeper conversations, go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you here. Because in a world where algorithms try to predict who you are, the most radical act might just be deciding for yourself. Until next time, stay awesome.